Katie Porter goes viral for unhappy TV interview in California governor's race. So Katie Porter is running for governor because Gavin Newsom's term is over. Things had been looking up for Katie Porter's bid to become our next governor of California. In July, Kamala Harris decided not to run in next year's contest. Whoosh, caught a break there, opening the door for candidates with less name recognition. And Miss Porter, a former congresswoman known for her sharp tongue on Capitol Hill, has been the top polling Democrat in a large field, hoping to succeed Governor Gavin Newsom of California when he leaves office. But late Tuesday, Ms. Porter went viral for the wrong reasons after a video of her exchange with local television journalists became a must-see clip for the political set. In the 3-minute video, she dismissively rejected a question that suggested she need to reach out to Republicans and threatened to abandon the interview after she was frustrated with several follow-ups. So she's here being asked about Newsom's redistricting plan, which is actually up for a ballot initiative yes or no vote in November. The redistricting plan would be to gain Democrat seats in retaliation for Texas's redistricting plan designed to gain Republicans seats. And let's see how this question really just goes sideways for no real reason.
40% of California voters who you'll need in order to win, who voted for Trump.
How would I need them in order to win, man?
Well, unless you think you're going to get 60% of the vote. You think you'll get 60%. Everybody who did not vote for Trump will vote for you. That's what you're saying.
In a general election, yes. If it is me versus a Republican, I think that I will win the people who did not vote for Trump.
What if it's you versus another Democrat?
I don't intend that to be the case.
Even if that is the case, okay, so to be fair, I don't fault her for being a bit taken aback by the stupidity of that question. Like, you don't need 60% to win. You need more than 50% to win. Right. So you don't need the Trump supporting minority to win a two-way race. Like, you don't need that. Right. Since when do you need 60% to win? So it was kind of a dumb question. So, like, I don't blame her for being a bit taken aback. But then she really, I think, lets her anger get the best of her, to put it mildly.
So how do you not intend that to be the case? Are you going to ask them not to run?
No, I'm saying I'm going to build the support. I have the support already in terms of name recognition. And so I'm going to do the very best I can to make sure that we get through this primary in a really strong position. But let me be clear with you. I represented Orange County. I represented a purple area. I have stood on my own 2 feet and won Republican votes before. That's not something every candidate in this race can say. If you're from a deep blue area, if you're from LA or you're from Oakland, you don't have an experience.
But you just said you don't need those Trump voters.
Well, you asked me if I needed them to win.
So you don't.
I feel like this is unnecessarily argumentative. What is your question?
You don't need them to win.
The question is the same thing I asked everybody, that this is being called the empowering voters to stop Trump's power grab. Every other candidate has answered this question. This is not
correct. And I said I support it.
So, and the question is, what do you say to the 40% of voters who voted for Trump?
Oh, I'm happy to say that. It's the do you need them to win part that I don't understand. I'm happy to answer the question as you have it written, and I'll answer it.
And we've also asked the other candidates.
You know, I got to admit, like, yeah, I mean, this shouldn't have gone the way it did, but I would struggle not to be frustrated with this reporter too, watching this a second time.
Yeah, I mean, that's why you'd be a terrible politician.
Yeah, I would be a terrible politician.
It'd be like, eat shit. Like, you know what? Eat shit.
Right, you know what? Shut up. You're an idiot. I'm getting the fuck out of here. Yeah, I guess that's why I don't run for office. I guess part of running for office is having to deal with this. But yeah, I mean, it is a stupid question.
I mean, it's kind of central.
Yeah. But I mean, am I wrong? I mean, the more I watch this, like, yeah, it is a fucking idiotic line of questioning. Well,
I mean, particularly because she did say, yeah, I mean, I can answer the question outside the context of needing them to win.
Right.
She actually did say that.
Right. So, yeah.
Those 40% of California voters to win, and you're saying, no, you don't.
No, I'm saying I'm going to try to win every vote I can. And what I'm saying to you is that.
Well, to those voters. Okay, so you.
I don't want to keep doing this. I'm going to call it.
Okay, see, that's where you should have just, that's where you can't do that.
Yeah. You're not going to do the interview with us.
Nope, not like this. I'm not. Not with 7 follow-ups to every single question.
Not
you
with
ask.
a bimbo slut
every
like you asking me.
I don't care. I don't care. I want to have a pleasant.
Think you're better than me because you're blonde and skinny?
Positive conversation in which you ask me about every issue on this list. And if every question you're going to make up a follow-up question, then we're never going to get there.
Ms.
And
Porter,
we're just going to circle around.
I am an investigative
I have never
reporter.
had to do this before, ever.
You've never had to have a
end an
conversation
interview.
with
To end
a
an
reporter?
interview.
Okay, but every other candidate has done this.
What part of I'm me? I'm running for governor because I'm a leader. So I am going to make.
So you're not going to answer questions from reporters? Okay, why don't we go through? I will continue to ask follow-up questions because that's my job as a journalist, but I will go through and ask these, and if you don't want to answer, you don't want to answer. So nearly every legislative...
I don't want to have an unhappy experience with you. And I don't want this all on camera.
I don't want to have an unhappy experience with you either. I would love to continue to ask these questions so that we can show our viewers what every candidate feels about every one of these issues that they care about. And redistricting, it's a massive issue. We're going to do an entire story just.
Yeah.
I have a long history of skinny blondes stealing my boyfriends.
Yeah, right.
It's something I'm working through.
It's very triggering right now. By Wednesday afternoon, a video of the exchange posted by an Axios reporter had racked up 2 million views on X, far more than the original segment probably would have attracted.
Yeah.
I would say that's a safe bet. Her campaign spokesman, Nathan Click, that's a funny name for a Democratic insider, Nathan Click, pointed out that Ms. Porter answered questions from Ms. Watts for another 20 minutes after the viral exchange. All right. So
that's how we know we're living in a simulation.
Yeah. Nathan Click. Okay, so she didn't actually quit the interview. They actually talked her into sitting for the rest of it. A CBS spokesperson said on Wednesday that Ms. Porter stayed for the full interview. On Wednesday, it gets better. Politico published a video from 2021 in which Ms. Porter used an expletive as she yelled at a staff member who stepped into her shot as she recorded an interview with a Biden administration official. The aide was trying to correct something Ms. Porter had said. So it seems like now that it's coming out what a bitch she is, that maybe disgruntled staffers are starting to leak things about her because now they figure this might be the time to take her down. So Libs of TikTok was all over this. Here is her telling a reporter to get out of my fucking shot. Wow.
Number 2?
I am.
All right. $632, which is how much you save in fuel and maintenance costs when you replace your traditional car with an EV, with an electric vehicle. So I lease a Chevy Bolt. It is the best car that I have ever owned.
Here's Jennifer Granholm, the green energy person.
Whole prong plug, and I never have to go to the gas station.
That's awesome. And $632 is real money. And I know here at UCI, we have a National Fuel Center Research Center, and they're also doing work on how to make electric vehicles affordable, including for low and moderate income people, working moms, single moms like me, people who really could benefit from an extra $632 in their pocket. And it's also not just the individual savings, but it's also the total savings for our economy. So I'm on the oversight committee, you might know, and that is where we did a study recently this fall in September. And what it showed is if we don't electrify our transportation sector, that we're going to lose more than 500,000 Californians dying prematurely to air pollution and other problems.
The mask.
The state could lose. Get out of my fucking shot.
It's that if we don't meet the commitments under the Paris Climate Accord.
Okay, it does. Okay, you also were in my shot before that. Stay out of my shot.
That's great.
To air pollution and other problems, and the state could lose. Get out of my fucking shot.
I'm just here to correct you on something.
It's electric vehicles. It's that if we don't meet the commitments under the Paris Climate Accord.
Okay, it does. Okay, you also were in my shot before that.
Get out of my
Stay out of my shot.
Jesus Christ!
I'm going to start again with electric vehicles saving us money.
Okay, let's take it back to the virtue signaling about the EVs. Yeah, let's say that. I mean, that's a peek into Democrat Party culture there.
Yep.
Get out of my
fucking
and
the state
shot,
could
like Amy
lose
Klobuchar throwing a fork at her.
Get out of my fucking shot.
Oh wow,
That's actually incorrect. It's
such a nasty woman. Such a nasty woman. After the video surfaced, Ms. Porter issued a statement suggesting the exchange was an example of how she has held herself and her staff to a high standard. Just lean in, just girl boss it. Right now, I
Yeah.
couldn't find this statement anywhere. Obviously, this is not the kind of thing that they are looking to like highlight, so they're not going to like put the statement on their website or anything. But I did dig a little bit. So Politico had some more quotes from the statement. So in a statement on the video of her berating a staffer, she said, "It's no secret I hold myself and my staff to a high standard, and that was especially true as a member of Congress." She continued, "I have sought to be more intentional in showing gratitude to my staff for their important
Oh wow.
work."
That she's going full new age lib gobbledygook.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just kind of leaning into that. So where the race stands here, Porter the favorite, but not a heavy favorite, 18%, and then two Republicans between 11 and 8.7 on her tail. So the way this works, once again, folks, is in California, you have what's called a jungle primary, where all of these candidates run together in one primary, and then the top two advance to the general. So that's why there's a question of whether or not Katie Porter will end up running against a Democrat or a Republican, because it is conceivable in California that you would have two Democrats ranked first and second in the primary. But yeah, that's a wave of negative press. So is it likely to tank her campaign? Well, not necessarily, but the thing is, nobody's running away with this. Nobody in the race is polling above 20. So
Right.
we will see what effect that has. But yeah, that was pretty funny. That was a pretty funny peek into the girl boss culture of the Democratic Party. Tell someone, get out of my fucking shot.
Well, she also
no, we have high standards here. I'm a
Yeah,
good boss.
this hasn't leaked, but at another part, I think in that same interview with Granholm, she complained about how she raised a fuck ton of money for Biden and is the only one who never gets invited to the White House. That
Oh, really?
She's never been invited for the photo op at the White House. Granholm says, no, that's not true.
That's right, because it was a Biden official. Yeah, Granholm. Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay. I thought a lot about this, like, because the thing that people always raise in these contexts is, well, look at all of these male politicians who famously have these horrible tempers and scream at their staff. Bill Clinton had that reputation. Joe Biden certainly had that reputation. John McCain was famously an asshole. Is there a certain double standard for women who get caught out in things like this? I think there probably is, which is not to say what she's doing is okay. It's to say that there are plenty of men who are just as not okay, if not worse, where it's just treated as, he's an alpha. He's an alpha.
Yeah.
Of course, he's hard charging. You see a woman go, get out of my fucking shot. People say, bitch. Right? Like, is there a double standard at work? Like, yeah, she's an asshole. I think she's probably pretty typical of the breed of person that becomes a politician. I think generally, if you get some off the record recordings of most of them, they're probably mostly pretty much like that, more or less.
Yeah, no, I think so too. I always just thought it was a funny excuse where people say, well, a man could do that and you wouldn't think twice. Okay, but that doesn't mean when a man does it,
doesn't mean it's
admirable.
okay, right?
Like if it's not a win for like co-opting the worst qualities of men
exactly
in order to gain power does not seem like a win for feminism. I mean, I'm not a woman, so I can't say, but like that sounds a lot like, well, Hillary had to vote for the Iraq war or else people would think she's weak because she's a woman. Okay, so you're telling me that women, in order to become powerful, have to become as brutish and militaristic as men? If that's the case, then what's the point of electing a woman? How is that a victory for feminism? If you just have to basically co-opt the worst traits of men. Yeah, you have to be a nasty, warlike asshole if you want to make it in this world as a woman. All right, well, fine. I mean, I guess best of luck to you, but that doesn't seem like a Jackie Robinson type breakthrough to me.
Yes, I've always said that is a terrible argument to make to try to get people to vote for somebody who's not a straight white male. To argue they actually, I mean, this is where it's a terrible argument to argue, well, Hillary couldn't take the stands that Bernie took because she's not a straight white man. Well, so you're telling me that by voting for a woman, I'm going to get something worse.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Like, that's what you're arguing.
Yeah.
That because of her identity, she can't be a good.
Right.
So you have to vote for the bad in order to advance social progress.
Right.
That's not much of a pitch.
Right.
So yes, absolutely. I'm just saying, I thought about this. I was like, all right, man. This would probably, I'm not going to say it wouldn't make news if they found a video of a male politician saying, "Get the fuck out of my shot," to a
Right.
staffer. I think it's more damaging if you're a woman and something like that comes out. I think it's going to hurt her more than it would a man.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, because, and then this is the other thing, like, people assume women are nicer than men, right? So when there's a video of a woman being just as nasty as a man, it kind of hits harder because most people, I think, have higher expectations for women, right?
Right.
So that's another thing where, like, yeah, okay, you could say it's unfair that women get singled out for behavior like this when men don't, but that's a function of the fact that most women, are nicer than most men, right? So it's a little more disappointing, I guess.
Spoken like a man who married young.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Please clap.